right, we're going to talk a lot about this morning. The Spurs, they won their first playoff series last night against the Portland Trail Blazers. And fans, they did what they do best. They got right to honking. And this was the scene on Commerce Street after last night's big win. KENS 5's Nate Ryan was at the Frostbank Center last night as the Spurs closed out the series 114-95.
Well, so much for playoff inexperience, right? The San Antonio Spurs right at home in the postseason, winning their opening round series against the Portland Trail Blazers by a margin of 4-1. You know, personally coming in, I didn't think Game 5 was going to be very close, especially considering that Portland blew 15-plus point leads in Games 3 and 4. I thought the Spurs had broken their spirit with that come-from-behind win in Game 4 and sticking to script early on in Game 5, racing out to a 15-point lead to get the party started after every bucket San Antonio was letting the Trailblazers know about it. At a certain point, this lead got up to 28 in the first half. In the second, all that was left to do was wait, and the Spurs could see their name move on in the bracket.
Yeah, we didn't want to go back to Portland. That was kind of the emphasis for the guys in the team. We just didn't want to fly back to Portland. It was a 4-hour flight. So being up 3-1 and playing at home, you know, it's a good chance to close it out and not go back. So that was all of the motivation we needed tonight.
That was just one example of how a series can go. And that's a good way to start the playoffs. But yeah, well, we gain experience, and I'm still hungry for even better matchups.
And so the Spurs aced their first test in their return to the postseason, albeit they were expected to, the 2 seed over the 7-seeded Trailblazers, but they did get a taste of that ramped up postseason physicality they can now expect moving forward. The Game 5 win for San Antonio, I think, is big because it gives the Spurs extra time to rest now ahead of the Western Conference semifinals. They're going to await their opponent. They're going to take on the winner of the series between the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves. That series is still going on. Minnesota with a 3-2 advantage over the Nuggets in that series. They're going to play Game 6 in Minnesota on Thursday night. But remember, the Timberwolves are without their superstar. Anthony Edwards now injured with a knee hyperextension. He's listed as week to week. Down another starter in Dante DiVincenzo. He's not coming back with an Achilles tear. The Denver Nuggets, for their end, they've got work to do, right? But they did split the season series with the Spurs. I'd expect a similar buzz in this city, only going to get louder as the Western Conference semifinals draw near. But at the Frostbank Center, a very happy FBC. Nate Ryan, KENS 5.
All right, thank you, Nate. Remember to check out our complete Spurs playoff guide as the race for stays continues. It's online now at kens5.com/Spurs. And don't forget, folks, KENS 5 is the official TV station of the San Antonio Spurs.